Hey guys, welcome back. Well, actually, not welcome back. This is our first video. I'm documenting my journey on computer science because my feed is all telling me that I am cooked. So I'm doing self learn amongst other things. I'm also going to college, but college is going a little too slow in my opinion. So I'm doing side quests, learning on my own, which is, I think, how they intended college to be. But yeah, specifically, I want to get into cybersecurity. So amongst coding and cybersecurity, the basics, right? I'm learning SQL on the side so I can be a little bit ahead of the curve, as you would say. I went on Hacker Rank, which is, I guess, where people learn SQL or can at least practice SQL. And here I'm already getting started on the problem, so I'm kind of behind on this commentary. So going over the problem, it looks like we need to select the names of the employees where salaries are more than $2,000 a month, but have been employed for less than 10 months. I've been learning SQL through Solo Learn, so I've been taking my small segment learnings and applying them little by little. So there are some problems here that I do not understand. But that's basically where my thought process is. There's certain things I don't understand, so whatever I'm typing on screen is what I know from that point. So as you can see, I'm putting select name from employee, which is the standard syntax for SQL, where salary is greater than 2,000, and because it has two filters, I guess. As you can tell, I'm forgetting the verbiage here. And months less than 10. Hope being that should um, give us the result we want. I guess we also have to sort the result in ascending order. So I ran the code. That's a problem I ran into way in the beginning as I kept submitting code, and then I got like some sort of like blacklisted from submitting codes for 3 minutes, some kind of like Apple ID lock. So I started just putting run code, and if it says congratulations, then I submit the code to avoid that. So yeah, I finished that problem, and we're moving on to the next. All right, so this one is going to be an example of what I didn't know. I didn't know how to conjoin tables at the time. Now I do, right? Because I learned that this week. But when I recorded this, I didn't know. So I was reading through the question, right? They have three tables: students, friends, and packages. They want students to contain two columns, or sorry, the students table contains two columns: ID and name. Friends contains two columns: ID and friend ID. And the ID is only of the best friend of the student, right? And then packages contains the salary and the ID, right? So I didn't understand that you had to scroll down to read the question. So I'm like, what am I looking for exactly at this point? You know what I mean? So we scroll down and it shows up right there. So write a query to output the names of those students whose best friends got offered a higher salary than them. Names must be ordered by the salary amount offered to the best friends. Okay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so in my mind at the time, I'm thinking, okay, I need the names of the students, right? Okay, that's fairly simple. Whose best friends are making more salary than them. So immediately I'm thinking I have to find a way to compare their salaries. Um, on top of that, I need to link the friends to the best friends to compare those two salaries. So, like I said, I didn't know how to conjoin tables, and I didn't really understand how to get select. Okay, I didn't understand how to select more information from multiple tables. I guess because in my mind, I had not learned that you could put from one table comma another table, right? Um, I had not seen that at this point, so that's why I didn't try it. Um, yeah, and I think I just keep trying to guess here from students. So right now I'm selecting name from students. Okay, so it's gonna select all the students' names. There's no comparison there at the time. Um, and so, anyways, another thing that I need to learn undoubtedly is Linux. In cybersecurity, we're all familiar with Kali Linux. And by we, I mean them, not me. I have zero idea what Kali Linux is. And so I know you could learn it through YouTube, but me personally, I prefer interactive platforms, I guess you could say. Um, And I probably will cave in and go watch a YouTube video or whatnot, and then download Linux onto my Mac OS, right? But TryHackMe has this interactive shell for Linux, so I thought I'd give that a try. Unfortunately, when you make an account, you can't directly dive in. You have to do this sort of understanding what cybersecurity is, some red team hackathon looking thing. So that's what we're going to be going through together. So the first task was to just simply get familiar with the terminals, I guess you could say. Oh, well, I guess that's what it's called. So, you open up your fake bank account, it asks for some key details to help you move along, make sure you're paying attention. So here it looks like we're opening the actual Linux shell terminal, which is where, you type in your bash commands or whatnot. So so it's asking us to just enter the URL with the derb. For some reason, it wasn't letting me copy and paste here. I really don't understand what that was about. So I had to manually type everything out. Luckily, they had it there for me. So that was big whoop. I didn't really need to do anything. Watching this back, it's just, wow, I'm a tremendously slow typer. We might have to be hopping onto some typing practice soon. So right here, I'm trying to decode whatever it put out, and I guess my biggest problem is not reading, because it breaks it down for you. Meanwhile, I was here trying to decipher it, so I was just like, okay, derb, the version by whoever created it, start time, that's what we looked at, the URL we put in, word list files, did not know what that meant, generated words, okay, that's something that it put out, right? And then they gave us two website codes, two website domains, URLs. And so, that's when I start reading, and it basically, tells me everything. So I'm just like, okay, cool. What a waste of time that I just did. So they're just telling you like, hey, this is what this is. That's the URL you put in. Common text is a file where we have all the common text. You can open it and take a look at it if you want. The plus signs are basically information that Linux themselves put out after running this command. And then it says try opening in browser. You might find something interesting. Okay, cool. So one of them says bank deposit. The other says images. I'm more prone to go and press bank deposit. I thought it was an active URL. You have to put it into the web browser. But guess what? I can't copy and paste. So I have to, every time I try to do Control V, that would come up. I think this keyboard that I have is not mapped correctly in some form or fashion. Oh, well, I didn't know I had Reddit. I could have gotten Reddit who was up there. So yeah, I try again. Hope maybe I did it wrong. You guys ever seen that post where it says, you have more faith in the Control C than the Control V? I think because we spam Control C and then not the Control V. Anyways, so yeah, here it looks like I just gave up and I had to physically type it out. Luckily, it's the same domains, so not really hard from that. So yeah, that's basically all there is to it. Interestingly enough, it looks like the images, I can't quite remember, but I think the images, it was just a bunch of PNGs. I went through them all, just because I'm a sociopath, I guess you could say. And here, enter any amount. I didn't know it was going to tell me I had 2,000, so I had preset like $1 million. But it's fine. I didn't automatically do it. I went to take my spin on the images side. On side note here, on top of this, I'm also taking the Google course for cybersecurity, the fundamentals. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I know you might be like, wow, this is the most inefficient way to learn anything for that matter, right? If you're learning multiple things at once, nothing's going to stick, which I agree. But I like to open all the doors at once. I don't know. It's something that I like to do. I like to see everything first and then kind of take a step back. So here, I'm trying to see the basics of Linux, SQL, I have taken some Python courses as well. I'm not super proficient. I have not gotten into anything serious, just basic syntax. And that's something that I hope to, you know, progress first, as I feel like that would be more time consuming. SQL, I started not too long ago. I think I started like 2 weeks ago. No. That's a blatant lie. I think I started like a month ago, I want to say. And at first it was very easy, so I completed a good amount of work in the first week. But then I think started getting a little more tough. I was less inclined to go back. Nonetheless, I'm still continuing it, and I think I'm gonna finish SQL first. Um, as in my mind, it's a little more simple, which I could keep practicing through HackerRank, and then I will go back to Python and hopefully run my first project. And I've done a calculator before, um, just because it's a very general project. Oh, here, um, I refreshed I refreshed Firefox thinking that it would work. I think you just had to click the link and then it'll take you back to your account, which is exactly what happens. Um, but yeah, I think I've made a calculator before, but I do want to make. I know that cybersecurity is not necessarily big on the. They're big on programming, but they're not big in the to my knowledge, right? That they're not big in the in like front end and back end development, right? I think it's just making like a few, like autonomous tools to help run reports or something. I don't know. I'm not a cybersecurity analyst. You know what I mean? But so I know I don't need to be super proficient in Python, but I've seen the amount of languages that developers use, and I feel like I need to at least be really, really great at one and be familiar with the others, because it's ridiculous. I give my props to the to all the software developers that know all those languages. It's insane. All that C++, JavaScript, and all that CSS, HTML. Like, wow, it's fascinating. I know it's not like it's based. One is based off the other, right? Which is why SQL maybe became so easy to me. Um, but yeah, so yeah, here I just complete it, and I start looking at everything through the website. I think that's something that I'm gonna continue on to the next video, but I think for now, I think I'm gonna keep it at that. Yeah, so this next episode might be something like SQL and a little bit of Linux. Um, I'm gonna try to do one video a week. I feel like that's pretty normal, and I feel like that's not super excessive. I do have a child, so it's very difficult to keep up. The constant grind. But yeah, so 1 week of video I feel like would be good for me. And yeah, this is just to document my journey. Hopefully, in a few months, I'll have a few projects, and we'll start looking at jobs. Thank you.